Hi, my name is Allison, and this is my testimony. I'm 17 years old. I'm a high school student in Huntington High School. I attend MFC Huntington Church. I am a leader of a cell there, and I'm also the leader of a Bible study club in Huntington High School. I'm a usual student girl, and I'm a normal, average teenage girl seeking Jesus day by day. We do Bible studies before school with some students. I am personally addicted to Starbucks, so we go to Starbucks every morning. I love doing activities with youth that involve Christ because He is at my center in my heart. My life before Christ was life without purpose. I found no purpose in my life. I felt lost, I felt hurt, I felt damaged. I lived up to this mindset for many years, which started at a very young age, at the age of 7. Through it all, who I was truly was just someone who would hurt people due to being so hurt deeply inside. I would cause drama in school. I was always in the principal's office. I was always getting suspended. I was always getting detention. I was always trying to start fights. I was always being a chaotic person in school. I was known for dating. Dating was one of my biggest parts of my testimony. I dated constantly, like month by month, week by week, new guy. It was an addiction of mine. I was filled with lust. I was known for being very lustful. Once my name was said, you'd be like, oh, that girl, like, yeah, I don't like her. I didn't know my value, and not knowing my value, I allowed myself to be so damaged and hurt by the world. This really was led up due to childhood traumas and childhood problems. Growing up, my parents separated when I was 1, which caused me to have 2 homes, which caused me to have a stepmom and my father, and then my mother and my stepfather. Growing up, both sides of my family, they both drank, they both did drugs. My stepdad was a drug dealer. My stepmom was a really big alcoholic. My mom also did drugs and alcohol. So did my dad. People coming into my house, drinking, parties every week. It was so normal into my daily living, to the point it drained me, feeling like my parents didn't need me due to their addiction. As a kid, I grew up feeling so isolated because of this. When I had my first encounter with my stepmom, she abused me physically and mentally. She'd call me names as a kid. I'd get thrown to the ground and beat. This was until I was 10. It started when I was 4. I thought this was a normal way to live. I thought this is how every family lived, until I saw other kids and I'd see how happy their families were. I didn't see alcohol in the picture. I didn't see hurt in the picture. And growing up, this made me feel like I had nothing, like everything I was, everything I did was nothing. When my biological dad found out that my stepmom was abusing me, he didn't really care. And this led me to isolate myself from my dad. So that side of the family was out of the picture when I was like 10. My relationship with my mom, it was horrible. Like, me and her, we never had a connection. We would always argue, we would always fight due to me sneaking out of the house, due to me always getting suspended and detention. So growing up, I felt like I had no family. I felt like I had no one. I felt alone. I felt isolated, as I said before. And at the age of 10, this led to me start dating. This opened a door due to me feeling unloved, due to me feeling like I had no one. I started online dating. I started dating in person. And little did I know this was an opening to an addiction I was going to start. It got to the point of lust. It got to the point of really abusive relationships, really toxic relationships, for the point I was hurt, I was damaged. I grew up to really feeling really depressed, because prior to that, from the age of 8 till I was 14, I had many failed suicide attempts. I was already filled with so much childhood trauma and hurt. Once I got into dating, that added more of my hurt inside of me. I was filled with so much, bottled up with so much. I couldn't handle myself anymore. I felt like the only way to end the pain, the only way to end it all was through death. This led on for years and years of me just dealing with suicide. It got to the point I got into therapy. I grew really bad eating disorders. My parents thought I was crazy because My therapist had to come like once a week to check on me. They were going to put me on meds. They were thinking of placing me in so many things because they thought I was insane. They didn't know how to take this process in, and they made me feel like I was like nothing. I just felt unworthy at that moment because they didn't even know how to take me in as a daughter, take me into their arms. Growing up, this really just truly scarred me. And this led to me one day deciding to commit due to being in a really toxic relationship I was in, where I got sexually assaulted. In my mindset, the guy was like my last straw and why I was alive, because I already felt unloved by my parents. I already felt like my life was ruined. I felt like God didn't love me because I was like, what kind of God would let anyone go through all of this? When I got out of that relationship, I grew into really bad suicidal thoughts. I started writing notes. I had like notes for every single family member, for friends. I had the knife right next to me. And my attitude towards my sisters at this time, I was a really rude little teenage girl being really mean to her sisters, calling them names and cursing them out of the room. Since I didn't feel loved, I didn't feel the need to show anyone love, because I think for my parents, it was hard to show love at the moment. So like whenever I'd hear an I love you, it was only like on a birthday. That day when I was trying to commit suicide, my sister walks in and she just hugs me out of random and tells me, I love you. And I remember just sitting in my bed that day. She just walked out. I started bawling my eyes out. That day, that reason stopped me from committing suicide. And I didn't realize that that was God doing his works. Well, it was just a normal service day. It started off like we were able to enter this church due to my mom bringing us there one day. We were able to come and encounter this service. My dad was actually the first one to accept Christ. I remember like this day, it was just a normal day. It was the week of Valentine's Day. Like I had just gone on a date that week. I think I was in talking stage. And I remember going to service that day. I didn't want to go. My dad was like, let's go. There's probably gonna be food on Sunday. Let's just go to service all together as a family. I didn't really want to go. Like I never was interested in anything with church or anything. I guess I got dressed and I got ready to go to service. I remember walking in. I used to sit with my friends all the way in the back because the pastor would point us out when we were falling asleep. So I was like, I would rather not sit in the front because I'm gonna get pointed out. But I remember sitting in the back with my friend. I was texting one of my boyfriends. I remember just sitting in a bench that day. It was night. It was a night service. I guess they were calling people up to pray. And my friend was like, hey, let's go pray. And at the moment, I didn't know how to pray. Like I honestly, all I knew was like the Padre Nuestro que estás en el cielo. I thought that was a prayer. I was like, okay, that's it. But I learned that that's not all you pray. Eventually, she kept persuading me to go. I said no, but she dragged me up there. I remember going up there and everyone was like getting ministered. Everyone was like praying. I used to think people were crazy when they were getting ministered. I'd be like, what is going on? and I remember just staring at everyone. But I remember just standing there and I was like, okay, so everyone's praying. I don't want to be like the odd one out here. So I just like closed my eyes. I was like, okay, thank you, God, because everyone was saying thank you. And then I just shut up because I didn't know what to say. I was like, okay. So, because I didn't really care. I was just there like because I got dragged up there. And little did I know, I was about to enter this like presence that I never entered before. I remember just something whispering into my ear and it felt like a wind just hit my ear. Like I felt shivers down my whole body. And the only thing I heard was, everything is going to be okay. At the moment, I hadn't told anyone what I was going through. I would always shut myself up. I didn't really like talking about my feelings. I thought it was corny. I remember feeling that presence and it brought me down to my knees and I just started crying. And after I stopped bawling my eyes, I was like, what the heck? I was like, I don't know what I just heard. Because I opened my eyes and the person who was ministering was like on the whole other side of the church. Like it would have been impossible to the moment I opened my eyes and looked at them. For them, I think they would have had to sprint to the other side of the church if someone did pray for me that night, which was impossible. I remember that day and I thought I was going crazy. I was like, what the heck was that? I'm like, what made me cry? Like, I don't know why I was crying. And I remember going home and just starting to acknowledge everything little by little. And little did I know, I realized that the Holy Spirit had literally just touched my heart. After that night, nothing was the same ever again. My life began to change. There was a change that started growing in me little by little. I remember the day after, I went to my youth group leader, Evelyn, and I was like, I want to change my life. Like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but I remember telling her, I was like, I want to accept Christ. I had told her this multiple times prior, which was always a lie, because I'd say I wanted to, but I would still bring my little boyfriend to church, and I would sit with a new boyfriend every week, which wasn't showing a life living for Christ. That night completely changed my life forever. 2 years later, I'm over here with life. The reason I'm alive is because of Christ. Due to him, my life has completely never been the same. Well, since I met Christ, since I've had that encounter, a lot has gone on. One including me passing my classes, and then another one being that we were able to start a Bible study club in Huntington High School. And I've been able to grow in many areas spiritually and other leadering things. Currently, we have Bible club going on. It's a movement that the Lord started. It actually started off by me seeing a guy on Instagram give out chips to people in school. And I remember talking to a few friends, and I was like, I want to do something like this. I spoke to my parents. I was like, I would love to do something like this in my school. I would love somebody to do something like this one day. I remember being really shy because I was really quiet at school. After I accepted Christ, it was like a whole change in me. Like before, I used to be this loud girl that was really chaotic, and then I became nonchalant and I was really quiet. I remember talking to a few of my leaders, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to start this. I spoke to my parents. They all they encouraged me a lot. They were like, you should start it. We'll help. They were really supportive about it. So in October, I go in and I asked the principal, and he's like, oh, write me an email about what it would be about. I got left undelivered for 3 months. And I had to go back in, and I was like, hey, I've never gotten the email opened or anything. And he was like, oh, I never got anything. So I was like, okay. Then later on, I asked for a meeting, and he completely rejected the club. He was like, no, this is a religious club. We can't do this here. I didn't give up. I just kept going at it. I was like, can I please start this club? And I just kept going back and back and back. And the school year ended, and it ended off with, this new school year starts, and there's a new principal. And this principal is a Christian. I remember going into school, and I remember telling my leader, I was like, oh, there's a new principal. What if she's more strict than the other one? They're not going to let me start anything. I remember struggling with the thought of being I don't think I'm worthy enough to start something like this or be a part of God's movement. It got to the point I led myself into this mindset of comparing myself to those around me. I compared myself a lot to a friend. And I was like, God, you should use her. She seems more fitted for what you've done, what you've placed in my heart to start. And I remember this struggle going on for 3 weeks straight. And I found myself in this doubt of starting it because I was like, I don't think I'm suited enough for this. And I remember God just speaking to me. He's like, I've called her for what I've called her to do, but I've called you for this. I felt like a slap in the face. Not a slap in the face, like him being a confirmation, straight in the face. I remember I was listening to a song in school, and I still haven't set up a meeting yet. I was I don't know what to do. And I don't know what the song said, but it was get up and go. And I remember God being now is the time. I was in the middle of a class, and then I asked to go to guidance or the main office. I went and I scheduled the meeting with the principal. The next day I had the meeting with her. She had a notebook right beside her with a Bible verse. And I remember speaking to her, and I was like, I want to start a Bible club. And she was like, we'll see what we can do. We'll try to start this. She's like, I really like the idea of this. A week later, she's like, oh, you can start off. So we begin to start this club, and we have a few youth from our church that go to our school. So they would help a lot. And on the first month, a lot of teachers contributed in Bible club. Teachers donated food, The dean actually donated a bunch of food and snacks. A lot of securities would come in, teachers would come in to join us, and it just completely started to move in a way that I would have never imagined. We got to go on a field trip to introduce Bible Club to the whole district. God truly just began to move in so many ways and began to help me in my own spiritual life, little by little. I also became a leader at my cell at my house. And it's like where we reunite together and we just pray together. We give a word and we learn more about God. We're just seeking more of Him. It's so beautiful how God has just like been able to transform someone that had nothing to someone that has it all because she has Jesus. One struggle I think I still have is managing time because, as I said before, I am a student and I have school and I also have Jesus, which I love serving. I try to manage my time with family and my ministries and with God to never take my focus off God because He is rooted to why I have it all. Being able to manage a lot at once as a youth that lives devoted for the Lord and also lives devoted for school. One way I deal with these struggles is I go present it to God and I speak to Him. And one thing I've learned over time is that He blesses you with people in life that are meant to be there to help you. And I'd say a few of those people are like my best friend. She's also my leader. God has just worked so much in my personal life. And I've been able to realize that God has so many provisions in our own life, such as the Bible, friendships, and Him Himself, just going to present it to Him. I feel like presenting it to Him has helped me so much in my life, just avoid so many things. And also speaking to my wonderful leaders that I have. I feel like one advice I'd say is really important to know is that it's knowing your value. I feel like when you know your self-value, you begin to evaluate a lot of your life. I feel like throughout my whole testimony, I never knew what my value truly was. Like I said before, I would go to give it to God. So I feel like one advice I can say that's worked so much in my personal life is just giving it to God because He is the God of everything. He knows it all. He knows every section and every area of your own life and who not to go to but Him. He has become my bestie. When I really truly accepted Christ, I was able to realize that He wasn't a religion, but He was a friendship because He is literally my first person for everything. Like I need something like spiritually, I go to Him. Like He's someone I can rely on day by day. Someone will always hold my hand no matter how deep in I am in my situations, how shaky my situations may be. I know that He will never let me go and that I can trust Him in any area, wherever I am in my life. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a blessed day and that this testimony was able to help you guys and encourage you guys in your own lives. And follow Gospel Effect, guys, for more content. And follow MFC Youth if you're located in Huntington. We'd love to have you.